You know what's insane? I just heard that the movie 28 Years Later is actually shot on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I mean, what kind of world do we live in? It's literally baffles my mind. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to test and push the limits of iPhone 16 Pro Max footage and see if you guys should use your hard-earned money to get the latest and the greatest iPhone or just stick with iPhone 15 Pro. And this push that I'm doing with my footage would not have been possible, I'm telling you right now, besides using specific tools. And I'm talking about Look DNA from my toolkit. It lets you work in any color space. So I was working in DaVinci Wide Gamut, which is a super wide color space, which takes full advantage of the iPhone 16 Pro log color space. And we were able to do so much push and pull. And then on top of it, I used a tool called Skin Juice. And that really got to test like how much twist and turn we can do before we can crack our footage. And it really would let us see if there is one, banding, any sort of artifacting with our image. So if you are interested to follow along, you can actually download the free version of these tools. I'm gonna have a link in the description, or you can just go ahead and buy the entire bundle that comes with 8 different tools in one. And for the first time ever, we are actually doing a monthly plan. So if one lump sum payment is too much, once you click on buy now, at the checkout page, you will get multiple options and you can get to pick like the monthly option. And I know a lot of people asked for it, so we finally incorporated that. So go ahead, check that out. Link is in the description, and let's roll the intro. All right, so now we're inside Resolve. And first of all, thank you, brother Chris Howe, for hooking me up with this footage. Tons of great stuff. So all shot in 30 frames in log, iPhone 16 Pro Max. We got a shot like where we're going to be able to see how much dynamic range do we have, like from the darkest to the brightest area, and how much we can pull out of this. And then we have a shot like this, POV of him driving. And then we got this beautiful action shot. And this is also going to be a good example of like how much we can, one, get out of the sky, and two, do we see any banding in the sky once we push our grade? And I really want to do just that, because when you shoot stuff with enough light, it doesn't matter what kind of camera you're using, you can actually get away with a lot. We know that iPhone footage looks really good since iPhone 12, right? But what we really want to see in this tutorial is that I want to use specific tools to really do a push and pull and twist the image and keep it on the cusp right before it breaks. And I want to see how well it holds there. And I think that's what's going to tell us the fidelity of this image and the quality that we get from 16 Pro. Because with the 15 Pro, I'm not going to lie, it looked good in like unlimited light, but as soon as you started messing with it a little bit, it broke apart pretty easily. So I'm most excited about this shot. This is what we're going to use as our building blocks. And then whatever grade we end up with here, we're going to apply it to these two shots and then modify it from there. So what I'm going to do is, as always, my first node is going to be IDT, so input device transform. And that's where we're going to tell it, hey, what is it coming from? And then which color space I want to work in. The second node is going to be my balance, my exposure. And then my third node is going to be what I'm going to call color compressor. And then I'm going to create another node, and this one is going to be skin juice. And then this one is going to be my look DNA. This is where the look is going to be created. And then I'm just going to have IDT. So we're going to keep this grade pretty simple. So let's go ahead and type in color space transform. And here I usually just leave it at, because Apple doesn't have a dedicated color space, so I'm just gonna set it to Wide Gamut 3. I'm getting pretty good results with that. And then here we're going to select Apple log. And then I want to work in DaVinci Wide Gamut as my working color space. It just gives us all the room that we need in the world to pull anything that we want from our image. I'm going to apply the color space transform on ODT, output device transform. And then here we're going to select DaVinci Wide Gamut and DaVinci Wide Gamut here. because that's what we're outputting from here. So then that's going to get inputted here. And then our final out is going to be Rec 709 and Gamma 2.4. And that's our Rec 709. Okay, so that's how we achieve our Rec 709. And we can just go ahead and apply this to all these 3 shots. Okay, and it looks pretty good because here I already have our Rec 709 ready to go. So once we actually end up with our grade, we can go back and forth and see the difference. So it doesn't look bad, right? Like, I mean, if I just go here and if I pull through, it is maintaining a lot of the information. We can see the top end is looking delicious and the white balance is set to auto, which is why we're seeing this going from here to here. But regardless, I feel like the changes are very subtle and it actually looks pretty good. What is that? Oh, that's a plane. I thought that was a drone. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to park it somewhere around here as my hero frame. And then in my balance node, I can just go to my HDR palette and make adjustments if I need to. But for now, I'm happy. I'm looking at my vector scope. Everything does look pretty well balanced. So I'm not going to adjust or make any changes right now. I'm just going to go straight to my look DNA. I'm going to type in DCTL and I'm going to use my QT look DNA. Okay. This is the best look creation plugin DCTL that is available for Resolve right now. And you're about to find out why. Best thing about it is that it has 2 presets that you can start off of, and these are film print emulations that are extremely popular, and 90% of the grades that you see are using one or the other. So it's either Kodak 2383 or Fuji 3513. So in this one, I'm just going to start off with Kodak 2383, and we end up with an image like this. And at first, it's just like, okay, maybe it pushed it a bit much, like what's going on? I want to see a little bit more. And that's exactly the strength of this tool, because I'm going to turn on these so you guys can see what's really going on. And as soon as I do this, you see that the grade that we are achieving right now using our Kodak 2383 is represented right here in this graph. Okay? So, which means now we can modify it. We can basically take the Kodak 2383 and then build our look on top of it. And I'm going to do absolutely just that. So I'm going to go under my undertone Y right here, and I'm going to just lift that up. And like, look what I'm doing. I'm like bringing back that information that we thought we were losing, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in my Y channel and I'm going to drop that just a little bit. I want to have some more information in there, okay? And now the next thing is that we can actually go and create like a really fun look. We can start creating some sort of a look. So I just pretty much took the green channel in my highlights and I raised it up to get like this sort of like nice Oppenheimer sky. And I like that. And on the tail end, we can basically do the opposite. Let's just say that if this is getting too blue for you, we can go under our undertones. We can basically start increasing the green channel a little bit and then raise the red channel along with it, drop the blue channel a little bit, and we can end up with something like this. So see, like we're basically making this a little bit warmer and then adding green at the top end to create like a fun little look, right? And then I can just like take my blue, bring it up a little bit though, and then drop my green just like that. And even something like this, I don't mind it, right? You can take your Y midpoint and like raise it to like wherever you would like. So something like that, I don't mind it. And then this could be our initial look. So this is before, this is after, and if I play it through, it's gonna look pretty cool, right? So we can just park this here. The real magic happens right here in the skin juice node. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this right here. And the intention of this tool was to give you really enhanced skin tones, but that's not where it stops. It's built off of your RGB mixer right here. And by the way, if you want to learn more about any of these tools, I'm going to have a link in the description and you can watch an entire in-depth walkthrough for each tool and get a better understanding, because I'm telling you, these tools are the best in the business. There's literally nothing better. And what makes it so incredible is that all these parameters, you can push the fuck out of them and they will not crack. And you're about to find out what I'm talking about. Everything that we're going to do using our skin juice is using your RGB mixer, but using these on their own is impossible. Like, it's really, really hard, and most of the people don't really mess with it. But when you start using this instead, you're going to see the power of like how easily we will be able to create really fun looks. So let's just say if I go and use my sat skin and start pushing it, like look what it's doing. Look what kind of interesting grade we are getting just by cranking this. And look at how much I'm cranking it and nothing is breaking. So that is the testament to one, this tool, that no matter how much you push it, it has guardrails. Nothing is going to crack and it's going to make you look like you're a freaking Superman. And two, iPhone 16 Pro Max footage. This thing holds, man. This is insane. So now I'm going to go under exposure skin and I'm going to further push that. And then hue shift skin. And like, look at, like, if we just really want to create like this sort of love letter to Instagram, basically, we can go there. Let's just have fun with it, because I told you guys, I want to like really push it and see what we can end up with. So I can do something like this. And then look at, in my exposure green magenta, I can park it somewhere around here, and then hue shift green magenta, and we can maybe do something like that. And then global saturation, I just want to pull it back a little bit. So then overall, we have like a very nice stylized. So guys, come on, look at it. Like where the image was sitting in the vector scope before and then after. And how much we push this image. And I can just punch in like that and you can look at it. Nothing will crack. It will just hold. Like, look at it. Nothing will crack. That's the beauty of this tool, okay? And now, let's just say if we want to like, you know, ease off on the cyan in the sky, we can go back to our look DNA. And then here, what we can do is we can just see, come back on the highlights green and put it somewhere around here. And then we can take the red channel and then pull it down a little bit. And then take the blue channel and like, whether we want to warm up the sky, we can easily do that to something like this. And now we end up with like, again, a very interesting look. And if I take these two and if I do before and after, I mean, come on. So this is our Rec 709. And then this is what we're ending up with. And remember, like I said, I wanted to like really push this image to see what we can end up with. And that's why I'm using these specialty tools, okay? Because I also wanted to end up with a good look. I didn't want to just like push things to make like a really lame look, but then say, hey, you can do this with your iPhone 16 Pro Max footage. Like, no, let's just create art, but at the same time, push the out of it. That's the whole idea. Now, Color Compressor is an incredible tool. Whether you want to create Blade Runner style monochromatic looks or whether you want to create Joker style, like crazy complementary color schemes, this tool will get you there. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. So you see, like right now, it has default to this color. I'm going to grab my target hue and start moving it. And basically, let's just say we want to put this color as our main color that we want to compress all the other hues to. So when we compress our other hues, they're going to come around to this color, okay? And you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. So let's just take our compression near and let's just go all the way. And as soon as I do that, see, now you're seeing what's happening, right? So it's not going to, this is not just a lame regular tint. And that's why you're seeing that the colors that are on the complete opposite spectrum are not affected as much as the colors that were close to or closer to this hue. So the thing that makes this tool so freaking magical is this thing right here. And by the way, there is no qualifiers being used here, okay? So creating a look like that using your qualifier or anything inside Resolve will be near impossible. You will not end up with clean results like that. Remember in the beginning, I told you that whatever look we end up with here, we're going to copy paste into the other shots and then go from there. So that's another power of like using these specialty tools, because we're pushing the look so much and we're literally creating a brand new look from what was there already, and it latches on and it can be applied to shots in completely different locations. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select my nearby cutoff and I'm going to start pulling that in and just look at what it's doing. Oh my God, it's pure magic, guys. So like, look at, I'm just going to go up to here. I don't want to go here. Why? Because then the sky just doesn't have a nice like fall off. I want like a little bit of like a feathering effect like this. This makes it look believable and I can like actually buy that, right? And it's just these little nuances that you got to pay attention to, guys. Whether you're using these tools or whether you're using somebody else's tools or tools available in Resolve, this tip is a $100,000 tip. Always blend everything. Every single effect that you apply, every single change you make, blend it, because that's just going to sell the effect. I mean, we can even like go a little bit more, but like I think I still don't want to lose the thing that we're trying to create. And if I do before and after, I mean, it's a pretty subtle effect, right? So like we can even bring it in a little bit. So we can just end up with this so you can actually see the changes that we're trying to make. And now I can just go in my hue and do I want to like actually maybe take the sky a little bit here, because I actually don't mind going here, because that's like a very classy, like something that Matt Osborne would do. And if you don't know who Matt Osborne is, like he is a legendary colorist and a friend of mine, and you should look him up and you should follow him on Instagram and everywhere, because he's a senior colorist at Company 3 and his work is like just absolutely fire. Started with this, ended up here, okay? Rec 709, that alone was looking pretty impressive. And then this is where we ended up. And guys, I'm telling you, I am beyond impressed. I mean, look at how good this looks. So now this is Rec 709, and then this is where we are. And the iPhone 16 Pro impressed me very much because, like I said before, with the 15 Pro Max, the interior would have been like just pooping. Like you would have seen like a lot of cracks and just like weird artifacting happening. And that's not what's happening here. It's holding. So I'm super, super impressed. Let's go and take these two shots and apply this grade that we just applied. So we end up with this, and, you know, some of you might be like, oh my God, this is like, you know, super unrealistic. What the hell is going on over here? So let's fix that. We'll get there. But the first thing that I want to do is the exposure needs to come up. So these are obviously like sort of like underexposed, and we can see it here. And that's because they didn't want to blow out any highlights. So that's not a bad thing. But I want to bring up this image quite a bit, okay? So if I go here and we look at it, you know, they're kind of underexposed. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go in my HDR palette. I'm going to go in my offset, okay? And I'm going to raise this. Let's just raise this to like about a stop minimum. So let's just raise it up to about a stop. And now how is everything looking? It doesn't look bad. I mean, do we want to go 3/4? Let's do 3/4. So this doesn't look bad. And now I want to make some changes here. So I want to go back to my look DNA. First of all, let's go to skin juice and just make sure that the dirt is not so red and unrealistic. So I'm just going to go ahead and change that a little bit. So even if I park it somewhere around here, it's looking a lot better, right? So let's just say even if we park it somewhere around here, like this dirt is looking a lot more believable, right? So like I like that. So let's park this here for a second, but I want to go in my highlights and Y channel, and I want to actually crank it. So this time I just like really want to see what else we got. How much can we push this image to like really like, oh my God. I mean, it's holding up, guys. It's holding up. So what I want to do is I want to go here, my overall saturation, I want to pull it back. I want to put it like where, as a tastemaker, I think it looks good. So this to me looks good. I'm going to go back in skin juice. I want to move some of these around, and I want to see like where I am happy with where everything is. Like, guys, look at the power of this tool. I mean, come on, just look at what I'm doing and how it just latches on. This tool is ridiculous. I mean, come on, look at this. And it's holding it. It's holding it. I'm going to go under skin juice. I'm going to dial it back a little bit to something like that. I'm going to just add a little bit more warmth like this. And I want to do before and after. I mean, come on. And then this is just doing enough. Let's just go to... Let's go here. I want to pull this up again. Move it. Let's see what we want to do with the sky. I like it here. Very natural looking sky. I love it. So if I take these three and if I do this, and now if we go to our Rec 709, so this is our Rec 709 underexposed. And I'm like really happy that Chris Howe shot it this way, because again, this like really gets to tell us how robust the image is from 16 Pro Max, because something like that would not have been really well received from the 15 Pro Max. If I had made these changes and manipulated and twisted the image as much as I did and then brought up the exposure by 3/4 of a stop, it would have just like cracked. So if we go here, what are a couple of other things that we want to do to this image just to kind of mess with it? And we're still keeping it pretty natural in terms of overall color temperature. And that's why you're seeing this, like, you know, we're on this line. Okay. So let's go back to skin juice again. And do I want to just like kind of keep the warmth coming in more? So like this dirt, like, and if I want to just put this dirt more toward like this sort of like dirty yellow, right? And now I'm looking at the vector scope and it's looking pretty good. So if we look at the vector scope before, and then we look at the vector scope here, I mean, this home image is pretty freaking pushed, guys, but it's so clean. I mean, like, look at this. Like how everything is holding up. Even that little emblem is like everything, like look at the overall waveform and where it was to how far we pushed it. And like, look at the detail in the smoke. Look at the detail in the sky. There is absolutely no banding. And I can just tell you right now, I mean, I approve this message. This is incredible. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is where we are already. Like that we can shoot an image and it can look like that. I mean, look at this. This could be shot from FX30, FX3, like just name a camera and it could be shot from that. And this looks so freaking good. And now that I've created this right here, and since he's in the car and it was in the same environment and that's just a POV, now if I just do a middle click, bam, we're done. Like this is it. We just did it. Like I don't have to do anything. I don't have to worry about anything. That's the beauty of these tools, guys. Like right here, the way I built the look, like look at this. Nothing is gonna choke. Nothing is going to, like, look at this, how beautifully it's handling the overall, like the top line exposure, the highlights, how everything is just beautiful. The roll off on the top end and the roll off on the bottom end is just to die for. Everything is covered. We're perfectly fine. Okay. And if you ask me, I will tell you right now, I am beyond impressed with like what we ended up with. And like now, let's just say if we would just want to do a similar thing that we did there and like make the sky a little bit more believable, right? I can go here and create something like that in our skin juice. We can do a similar thing, like pull back on the saturation a little bit and end up with something like this. So like now, like this looks pretty good. And then here we stayed with like even a more of a natural look, right? Very close to a natural look. And if I go right here to here, and if I just kill all of these, so here we started with the exposure, then did a look DNA and like created this epic look. Skin juice did pretty much the craziest amount of heavy lifting, and that was very necessary for me to see like how much push and pull I can do. And then color comp just came in clutch to like clean up the sky and just give us like a very believable image overall. And then that was translated here. So I don't know about you, I was beyond impressed. I did a lot of push and pull with 15 Pro Max footage and the results were subpar, especially when it comes to dark and light areas. Whereas here, I feel like we went places and it held up. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If there is any specific topic you want me to cover in our future videos, please let me know. And guys, do me a favor, if you enjoyed this video, then smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you liked what you saw with the plugins that we used here, then you can either download the free version or get a massive saving by getting a bundle. It includes 8 different products in one, and you can get $200 off, or you can do a monthly plan. Click the special link in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, fam.